Yo, what is up YouTube? This is SS99 here, and today we'll be doing a Flashback Monday. Now, Flashback Monday, but this is like a new segment that I'm going to do, where every Monday I will be talking about a deck that used to be good back in the old days. And I don't mean old as in, early 2000s, I just mean like, it could be a few years back, or just any time. But basically, a deck that was good, but is no longer good because either it's been outdated or because the ban list limited some cards and made sure that the deck wasn't too broken like it usually is. Or, I mean, there's many different reasons. Or maybe there's other decks that come out that are just better than the deck that we're going to talk about. So, today we'll be talking about Chaos Dragons. This deck was good a few years back, but then all of a sudden, it's no longer a tier. And I think it's because once Evil Swarms came in, it was just, because Evil Swarms do take a dump on this deck. It's really, really, really bad. And also, before I get started on the profile, I just want to say, usually I do a battle video after this, but my computer's been really slow, and it's usually not, so I'm going to get cleaned off, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging without any videos for those who are subscribing and actually watch my videos. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do the profile, and we'll just not do the battle video. But with that being said, let's just take a look at the Chaos Dragon deck. And also, with these decks, I might do what you would run back then, or I might do a revamped version. In this case, I'm doing a revamped version in case you haven't noticed. So let's just go ahead and see this deck. So Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is your main boss monster because he helps you special summon dragons like crazy, but he's limited, so you can only run one, unfortunately. Now, 3 Light Pulsar Dragons, this is your Chaos Light Dragon, level 6. Is really, really good. Dark Flare Dragons, your Dark level 5 Chaos Dragon. These two are busted. In more ways than just being, beat sticks. Whenever Light Pulsar Dragon sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Dark Dragon type monster that's level 5 or higher. So you get special summon Dark Flare Dragon or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. That's usually what you want to go for. Or if you have Beals in your graveyard, you can special summon Beals. It's really, really good. And Dark Flare Dragon, you can send a dragon from your hand to the graveyard and a dragon from your deck to the graveyard to banish any card from the graveyard. In this case, you want to discard any dragon in your hand, get rid of Eclipse Wyvern, and then banish a card, and then activate Eclipse Wyvern's effect to banish Red Eyes. And then once Eclipse Wyvern's banished, which you usually do by special summoning monsters, you get Red Eyes in your hand. Now, before I continue on, I just want to clarify a few things that have been confusing since these cards came out, and I've still bumped into a bunch of players that don't seem to get this. If you use Light Pulsar Dragon for a Synchro Summon or a Tribute Summon, he doesn't get his effect because it's mistiming. Dark Flare Dragon, if you send Eclipse Wyvern to the graveyard and you banish Eclipse Wyvern, he doesn't get the effect to add, he doesn't get the effect to add Red Eyes to hand, because here's the thing. When Eclipse Wyvern's in the graveyard, first of all you get to send a dragon, and then Eclipse Wyvern, and then you activate the effect to banish, and then Eclipse Wyvern's effect is activated. So if you banish the Eclipse Wyvern, you're banishing him before the effect even starts to activate. That's just the way it works. Enough about that, let's move on. Plague Spreader Zombie. This is a Synchro Summon-ish type deck. I mean, I mainly like to run Xyz monsters in this deck for many different reasons, but yeah, Plague Spreader Zombies are really good. Dark Arm Dragon, because you do run dark monsters in this deck, and if you have too many, you're going to be banishing a lot of dark monsters to special summon, so it's still possible to go into this guy a lot. Blackluster Soldier, because you run light and dark monsters, and he's really good. Same thing for Chaos Sorcerer. Even though he's at 2, I only like 1, because I did try running 2, and it was cloggy. I've already explained Eclipse Wyvern Effect Veiler, because he's a light monster, and you don't want to run Phoenix Chain because back row is a bad idea in this deck. And he's also a level 1 tuner, so he comes in handy in many different ways. 3 tour guides from the underworld. Back then you'd run 2 because it used to be semi-limited. Now you can run 3, and I actually do like 3. That way I can go into a lot of rank 3 XC's plays. And Knight Assailant, just to have that, 4th fiend to XC summon into with tour guide from the underworld. You can also target Curry Bandit, but I wouldn't recommend that, and I'll get to him in just a second. 2 Drags, or if you want the long version, Tragodia. You don't, like I said, you don't run back row, so you're possibly going to be taking some damage, and Tragodia just allows you to, basically not take as much damage. Plus, comes in handy with his effect to basically either steal a monster your opponent controls by discarding one of the same level, or you can target one monster in your graveyard and it becomes that same level. That helps with XCs and synchro plays. That's why he's probably at 2. And then we run 1 Gores because Gores is at 1. Gores is way too good. As I've said many different times, you don't run back row in this deck. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. You don't run back row because you want to make sure you get monsters in your graveyard and not spells and traps. And if you take battle damage without any cards on the field, you can special summon Gores. Just a really good card. Now, here's some revamped stuff. Raiden, Hand of the Light Sworn. This is probably one of the best Light Sworns in my opinion. He's very new. Back then, you would run 2 Card Troopers because Card Trooper was semi-limited. Now you got Raiden because Raiden is a freaking walking Card Trooper on crack. Card Trooper, you can send the top 3 cards of your graveyard, or up to 3 at least, and then gain 500 attack points for each one sent. Raiden only sends 2. But here's the thing, he's got 1700 attack points already. He can't have 19 if you discard a Raikou or Lila. But he's a level 4 tuner. And if he's still in the field during the end phase, you can send 2 more cards. So it's basically like you're sending 4 cards to the graveyard on that turn. I think he's a lot better than Card Trooper in my opinion. I mean, this deck is strictly light and dark. That's the reason why I don't run Max C in the main deck, and that's the reason why I don't like Card Trooper in the deck anymore, because Raiden makes it better. And I run 2 Curry Bandits because Curry Bandit is just busted. All you do is look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you select a spell and trap card, and the rest go to the graveyard, and in most cases it's going to be monsters. Just 1 spell, and then the rest are monsters, because you only run 6 spells in this deck. It's just really good. I love Curry Bandit. 2 Raikous. Raikou has been a staple in Chaos Dragons, but I'm thinking about dropping these 2, honestly, and putting in another Curry Bandit and another Raiden, because those 2 are just way too good for a meal deck, and yeah, I just think that would be cool. And of course 2 Lilas, because you need some monsters that can destroy spells and traps. That's not Mystical Space Typhoon, but I still run it in a side deck, and I'll explain why in just a second. And then what I call the baby Chaos Dragons. You got Collapse Serpent and Wyver Burster. Collapse Serpent can be special summoned by banishing a light monster. Wyver Burster is the same thing, only it's a dark monster. And when one goes to the graveyard, you get the other in your hand. It's really good. Now, we only run 6 spells in this deck. You have 2 Solar Recharge. Only reason why you run 2 is because you only have 6 Light Sworns, so the odds of you dropping into a Solar Recharge and a Light Sworn is not as good as it usually would be in a Light Sworn deck, obviously. But it guarantees draw and discarding, so no complaints. Charge the Light Brigade because you do have Light Sworns and you can send stuff to the graveyard. And we're only allowed 1. Dragon Shrine. I only run 2. I run 2 because, you never know when you discard 1. And plus, even though you don't run any normal Dragon-type monsters, you can still send 1 Dragon-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. In this case, you want to send Eclipse Wyvern, that way you can get his effect off. And then the last spell card we run is Dark Hole, because Dark Hole is too good. I don't run Book of Moon because Book of Moon is just not too good in this deck, in my opinion. Sorry about my voice. And now for the extra deck. I'm thinking about putting more Synchros into this deck, simply because we do have quite a bit of tuners. But I decided, well, maybe I should go XCs, because how often am I gonna synchro summon? So anyway, Stardust Dragon, Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, and Beals. These are your staple. Beals is not really staple unless you run a Dark Tuner, but he is really good. This guy actually saved me against the Novelist the Tormentor once. Black Rose Dragon, he's staple, and Allied Justice Canister, he used to be staple, but I don't think he is anymore, but he's still good in my opinion. And for the XEs, I run Zen Mines, Leviathan Dragon, Leviair, Queen Dragoon, Tyrus, Volcasaurus, Atum, Strike Bowser, and Gaia Dragon. Reasons for each? Well, these two have been a staple rank 3 XEs monsters for a while. Plus, if you don't have a dragon in your hand, but you have a Red Eyes and a Tour Guide, just use Tour Guide's effect to special summon another Fiend, XEs into Leviathan Dragon, and then banish the Leviathan Dragon and special summon Red Eyes. It's really, really good. Leviair the Sea Dragon, you run him because, well, you banish a lot of monsters, and this can help you get more XEs plays. Queen Dragon is the only rank 4 we run because you very rarely go into rank 4 XEs at all in this deck. Because, even though there is quite a bit of level 4s, the chances of you having them both out at the same time on the field are very slim. And when you have Raiden out, in most cases you want to synchro summon with him and not XE summon. And plus Queen Dragon is just really good for dragons, so I like her. Tyrus and Volcasaurus are pretty much your staple rank 5s. I don't really have to explain about them too much. Atum is staple in any deck that runs level 6 dragon type monsters because he is busted. You just detach an XE, special summon any dragon from your deck, and that's really good for more, rank plays. I mean, I'm not rank plays, but XE's plays. And Strike Bowser is just really good. You can negate an effect and inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. And Gaia Dragon is just for any dead rank 5 or rank 6 XEs monsters. Like if you have a Tyrus or a Heretic Dragon without any XEs material, you can just go ahead and go into this guy and deal some damage. And that's it for the extra deck. Now for the side deck. Well, I'm not going to talk about it too much. 2 XEs, Thunder King, triple MST, Burial from the Different Dimension, triple Phoenix Chain, double deck Devastation Virus, and triple Roll Decree. Reasons being, well, Maxi, a lot of deck special summon today. But I don't like running it in the main deck because I like to mill light and dark monsters. Thunder King because if you run up to a deck that likes to add stuff to the hand, he's the way to go. MST just in case you play against a skill drain deck. Burial, well, if some card in this deck is useless, then this is just there to replace that uselessness because it can be useful. Phoenix Chain because Ophion sucks. Deck Devastation Virus for matchups that involve monsters with less than 1,500 attack points, mainly for ghost tricks and whatnot. And then Roll Decree because you don't run trap cards at all in this deck and you just want to make sure that trap cards are not a problem for you. And that is pretty much Flashback Monday, guys. I would do the dual video, but like I said, my computer is slow. I don't know why it's slow all of a sudden, but I apologize for that. Thank you for watching anyway, though. I will be doing stuff like this more often, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.